Just ahead on CTV News, Governor Moore begins signing bills to strengthen Maryland's workforce. Plus,
a foundation hosts an anti-bullying seminar today. I'm Katara Jones. I'll have all those details coming up on CTV News.
And Simon Buggs has our Tuesday sports page. Those stories and more on CTV News, starting now.
Good evening, this is CTV News for April 8th. I'm Michaela Newton. Thanks so much for joining us. Well, a challenging state General Assembly session came to a close last night, but not before lawmakers made a final push on their legislative dockets. Mariah Jalad reports.
Move that the Senate of Maryland stand adjourned, sine die.
Without objection, so ordered.
Madam Speaker, I move that the House stand adjourned, sine die.
The final grain of sand has fallen in this General Assembly's hourglass, marking the last bills passed in Annapolis for 2025. The Assembly fulfilled their main duty, passing a balanced budget.
This budget before you does a few things. First, it provides a structurally balanced budget. A miracle, really, considering when we came in, we were $3 billion behind.
The House and Senate ratified a $67 billion spending plan for 2026. That budget is just 1% smaller than this year's, and the portion that the state funds through taxpayer money is $400 million less. Lawmakers say more than 90% of Marylanders will see a tax refund or no change at all, and that tax break will average between $50 and $65.
And I know there was a lot of hard work done on the budget. And I know it could have probably been worse from a tax perspective, but we're still left with a large burden being added.
I'm not quite sure where you got the information that this was the largest tax increase in the state's history, because that's incorrect.
Bills that survived the midnight deadline span numerous political issues, but don't hit on all of Governor Westmore's priorities. He made that clear in a statement, pointing out the Assembly failed to pass his bills to produce more affordable housing or one promoting nuclear energy. Bills that did make it through include reforms to medical parole, a delay to paid family and medical leave, and the crowning of an official state mineral.
Now, this bill designates chromite as our state mineral, Senate Bill 764.
The energy bill package focused on increasing state power generation and decreasing utility bills got most lawmakers' approval.
I believe we've not done enough in the bills we've been passing to bring down the cost of energy and help ratepayers.
Advocates for immigrant protections left the session disappointed after part of a bill was discarded prohibiting agreements between ICE and local police, known as 287Gs.
There's nothing currently in this bill as we're about to vote on that would have anything to do with the 287G program. Is that correct?
Correct.
What the bill did include was protections for sensitive locations like schools and churches. Mariah Jalad, CTV News.
And the governor still has final authority on every bill, and he's made it clear that not everything will receive his signature. But he wasted no time in taking pen to paper on those bills he does approve of. Byron Scott reports from Annapolis.
This has been a historic legislative session.
Before signing any legislation into law, elected leaders today shared their take on the last session.
One of the most challenging I've experienced in my time in the House. And I've been here since 1997.
The level of uncertainty and instability that we saw from the federal level and where we are moving in the weeks and months ahead was a cloud over top of every single decision that we were forced to make.
Office of Disability Employment Advancement.
And then it was on to the hard-fought accomplishments, from balancing the budget to meeting three core objectives.
First, reform the tax code and make sure we're giving middle-class families tax relief. Second, grow our economy and diversify our economy off of Washington, D.C. And the third, invest in our people, invest in our workers.
Among the bills signed today, the RAISE Act.
The RAISE Act creates a financial incentive for employers that work in industries of the future, like cyber, to adopt an apprenticeship model.
Another bill signed into law today focuses on disabled Marylanders. It's called the Model Employer Initiative.
Our bill orders the Department of Disabilities to implement new policies that support employment and job training for Marylanders with disabilities.
In all, 94 bills were signed into law today. Byron Scott, CTV News.
Meanwhile, a federal appeals court just handed a win to the Trump administration and to Elon Musk's controversial agency. In a split decision, judges cleared the way for DOGE to regain access to private data at the education and Treasury departments and OPM. The move overturns a lower court block after privacy groups and teachers' unions sued, accusing DOGE of using personal information without consent. The court said the government made a strong showing it'll win on appeal. The lawsuit and the access fight are far from over. And Johns Hopkins grads and students are the latest to be hit by visa terminations from the federal government. The university announced that about a dozen students and recent graduates had their visa records terminated with no specific reason given. Hopkins is one of a dozen colleges reporting instances of international student records being terminated. Those students will now have to leave the United States immediately. The university says it is providing support to those students through academic advising and health and well-being services. And the University of Maryland Medical Center is being sued by multiple women after a Maryland pharmacist is accused of spying on them for the past 8 years. The lawsuit was filed by 6 women last week after the pharmacist is alleged to install spyware on 400 cameras throughout the hospital and gain access to spy on more than 80 men and women in the hospital and their homes. UMC is accused of negligence, and the plaintiff's attorneys are asking a Maryland judge to make this a class action lawsuit to allow other victims to join. And the D.C. area just saw its biggest economic slide in 2 years. A new report shows the region's economic index dropped nearly 5% in February, driven by a sharp slowdown in commercial real estate and growing fears over federal spending cuts. With canceled contracts, shaky investor confidence, and the Trump administration slashing agency budgets, local impacts are piling up. NIH, NASA, and the Pentagon have all pulled back on grants and contracts in the region. Experts warn if this keeps up, the outlook could get worse. And U.S. employers added a surprising 228,000 jobs last month. Healthcare companies added almost 54,000 jobs, while restaurants and bars added nearly 30,000 jobs. This shows that the labor market was in solid shape as President Trump embarked on a risky trade war with the rest of the world. Trump claimed victory on his Truth Social platform, stating, quote, "It's already working. Hang tough. We can't lose." Economists say the numbers provide a rear-view mirror look at the economy. And you're watching CTV News. I'm Michaela Newton. Still to come, Bowie State University recently held its 160th anniversary gala. After the break, hear how Maryland's first HBCU celebrated. We'll be right back.
Hi, I'm Monica McNutt, host, basketball analyst, and reporter at ESPN and MSG Networks covering the New York Knicks in New York.
Hi, I'm Janine Samuels. I'm an evening news anchor right here in Richmond, Virginia at WTVR CBS 6, and I'm also the in-game host for the Washington Commanders.
My name is Samantha Akinduro, and I am a content producer at NBC4 in Washington, D.C.
And I gotta be honest, I don't know if those things or that little statue would have been available to me if not for the opportunity that Prince George's Community Television gave me.
My journalism career actually started at CTV News in Prince George's County.
I have been a part of CTV News, the CTV News family, for many, many years. Goes way back to my senior year in high school at Suitland High School.
The skills, the knowledge, and the teaching that I was able to absorb at CTV News was invaluable in me being able to eventually go from being a freelancer to a full-time news anchor.
As a Prince George's County native, that was an incredible training ground for me to cover the community that I grew up in and get valuable reps that would help power me to the next step of my career.
CTV is able to focus on those local stories, the ones that impact Prince George's County and Montgomery County. We're able to really dig deep into the community and the lives of everyone that watches CTV News.
CTV is really is home to me.
It truly breaks my heart to hear that it may have to close its doors.
This is a valuable resource, not just for the people that go through as journalists, but also a valuable resource for the community.
I am here to offer my support to continue funding and supporting Prince George's County Community Television, CTV News.
I cannot reiterate enough how powerful that space was to help a little black girl like me from Prince George's County to go on and pursue my dreams and achieve them, honestly. I really, really hope the decision to close those doors is reconsidered, because Prince George's Community Television is an absolute asset to the community and to the people that are able to come through those doors to hone their craft. Thank you.
Prince George's Fire and EMS are investigating a crash in Atlanta Monday where a car crashed into a barber shop. This happened at the 9900 block of Greenbelt Road shortly after 6 p.m. No injuries have been reported at this time, and we will keep you updated as the story develops. And 10 county students have been recognized as Carson Scholars, making this year the largest group coming out of Prince George's. The Carson Scholars Fund recognizes students in grades 4 to 11th grades for academic excellence and community service. 4 students became scholars, while 6 students from Eleanor Roosevelt High School renewed their scholarship status. They will be honored at the 29th annual Maryland Carson Scholars Awards ceremony on Sunday, May 18th. And bullying in schools is a serious issue that school districts across the country are tackling. Here in Prince George's, a local organization makes a stop at Colin Powell Academy in Fort Washington for an anti-bullying seminar. CTV's Katara Jones is there with more.
The message to students here at Colin Powell Academy is simple: don't be a bully. 800-799-7233. The organization Best Friends Foundation hosted a Kindness is Cooler seminar here at Colin Powell Academy this afternoon. The goal is to encourage students to not bully their peers. In fact, organizers say it's much cooler to be kind and respectful.
And we know that bullying is on the increase. 30% of our students are bullied. They've reported being bullied, some of them seriously, and we can end that. All we have to do is create a culture within the school that lets students know we don't tolerate bullying.
The anti-bullying event was interactive and incorporated singing and dancing from students. Organizers say that was intentional.
We want them to see how much fun it is to join together around a common cause, and that common cause is to stop the harsh and mean treatment of your classmates.
Organizers want students to know that they are not alone. They are encouraging students to contact the National Domestic Violence Hotline for support. That number is 1-800-799-SAFE. Katara Jones, CTV News.
And for more details, visit bestfriendsfoundation.org. And Maryland's first HBCU, Bowie State University, recently celebrated its 160th anniversary with a gala. The university was founded in Baltimore in 1865 before moving to its Bowie location in 1911. Hundreds of alumni, faculty, donors, and students gathered at the new Martin Luther King Jr. Center to celebrate and acknowledge how far the school has come.
We just cut the ribbon on this facility back in the fall. It is our newest building. It's home to our communications, arts, and humanities building, and it is a true memorial and testament to Dr. Martin Luther King. In this space dedicated to communications, arts, and humanities, it is truly our hope that silence will never be an option for our students. This is a unique moment, and here is where we start to lay the foundation for our students, ensuring that they understand the liberal arts and build from there, learning how to think critically, communicate effectively, and yes, engage in our democracy.
And some notable alumni from Bowie State include rapper Wale, singer Toni Braxton, and political commentator Kimberly Classic. Well, a big boost is coming to the University of Maryland's Education College thanks to two alumni. Ellen and Paul Gask just pledged $1 million to help expand and modernize the Benjamin Building, which hasn't been renovated since 1966. The upgrade will add classrooms, labs, and collaborative spaces for education and public health students. Construction is slated to begin in 2030, with school leaders saying it's critical to meet today's education challenges. And the Gasks have also backed several other campus projects, including scholarships and STEM facilities. And still to come on CTV News.
The Oxon Hill community is gathering to support a family business whose 4 decades of service is coming to an end. I'm Bryce Parker. We'll have all those details coming up on CTV News.
I came to CTV knowing almost nothing about the production side of media, but I've learned so much since being here in 2 months.
When I came to CTV, I knew this is the industry that I wanted to be in. This gave me an opportunity to be able to see a whole bunch of different fields of of my whole big field that I wanted to do.
CTV, it's very involved in the community. It's not just a TV station, it's a place where you can really learn.
I learned that I'm more capable than I think I am.
I feel like I'm able to put the skills I've been learning at school to test.
If I were to think of a word that sums up my experience at CTV, it would be amazing.
CTV is the perfect spot. There are a lot of people here who just want to see you succeed.
You're going to meet some great people, some lifelong friends, and some lifelong connections that can't do anything but benefit you.
If you want to find a place that will definitely 100% give you an opportunity and believe in you, then come to CTV, because CTV is here to help us.
You should think about the youth that are here. That's where people's lives start.
We are young people that we need the resources to grow and to learn more and better with our craft.
I really enjoy being here and I wish I can do it again.
Welcome back. Linen World, a local family-owned business that once operated 7 successful franchises, is now closing its doors following the stress that the Trump administration's tariffs have put on business owners. CTV's Bryce Parker is in Oxon Hill with more.
She's been here every day.
Yeah, I can't help it.
I know.
It's like once in a lifetime.
I know.
A retail tradition spanning 3 generations is coming to an end. For now, Linen World in Oxon Hill is closing its doors after 37 years of operation.
Unfortunately, we're not able to continue operating, but it has been a joy to serve all these customers over the years.
Jason tells us that many of their items contain products imported from China, and with the Trump administration's recent tariffs, it's made it impossible to continue to operate.
It's not possible for us to raise our prices either by 34% or 85%. It would just put a bad taste in my mouth and put a bad taste in the customer's mouth.
And the Gaysters refuse to turn their back on what made Linen World a cornerstone of the community.
We've always strived to provide quality and value for our customers, and we can't provide value and quality when the prices are not affordable.
Since Linen World announced it was closing its doors last week, customers have flooded the store, sharing words of encouragement, stories, and buying up merchandise, supporting the beloved business that has supported them for the last 4 decades.
I'm touched by all the support through the community and by all the people coming in and telling us it's their favorite store and they're going to miss us, and they're sad that we're leaving. And what we've done really well is help customers on a one-on-one level and give them the kind of attention and service that they want and need when it comes to decorating their homes.
So Jason tells us that the last day of operation for Linen World will either be April 26th or whenever merchandise runs out. But as you can see from these empty shelves, this community has been wrapping their arms around this family-owned business, making sure that they feel their love and support in their final days of operation. In Oxon Hill, I'm Bryce Parker, CTV News.
All right, Bryce, thanks so much. Well, looking for a state to work from home in, then your best bet might be to stay put. According to Wallet Hub, Maryland is ranked as the 3rd best state to work from home in. The survey took into account internet costs, cybersecurity, and home size, among other metrics. Currently, 17% of Marylanders work from home, while over 95% have jobs that could be done from home. Delaware claimed the #1 spot, while D.C. came right after Maryland at 4th. And a new study shows that the cost of raising a child in the Washington metro area comes with a hefty price tag. According to LendingTree, here in Maryland, it costs more than $31,000 a year to raise a small child. This puts Maryland in the 4th spot, while the District of Columbia takes the 9th spot. The study also reveals that Maryland ranks 4th overall with the highest 18-year costs associated with raising a child, which comes to a whopping $310,000. And one last thing the Maryland General Assembly could decide on was naming Orange Crush as the state's cocktail. As they were wrapping up this year's legislative session late Monday, both the House and Senate passed legislation for naming Orange Crush as the state's cocktail. Both have ties to Maryland, with Orange Crush being invented in 1995 at the Harborside Bar and Grill in Ocean City. The measure now waits to be signed by Governor Moore. And Simon Buggs is here with our Tuesday Sports page.
What's going on, everybody? Are you in the mood for some lacrosse highlights? If so, you're in luck, because I have that coming up for you on CTV Sports. Be right back.
I don't know why you're so sad. You've got a roof over your head.
Bro, you gotta stop with that depression stuff.
Escúchame, en esta casa los hombres no lloran.
You alright?
It just feels like it's coming from everywhere.
Thanks for hearing me out, bro. Appreciate it.
You can talk to me if you're feeling sad.
Whenever you need to talk, I'm here, okay?
It's cancer.
My opponent is completely disregarding almost half of my arguments which I responded to.
Communities must step up
Laws
and
alone
protest
cannot
against this
stop a
normalizing.
bully.
Well, I completely disagree.
Point of inquiry, do you guys even realize that the #1 killer of children and teens are gun injuries?
You're probably starting to realize now, this is not a debate.
There is no adult in this earth that wants children to die.
I worry for my kids.
All right, everybody, you know what time it is. Let's get into it. The Gwynn Park High School boys lacrosse team was in Landover yesterday trying to get a dub against Fairmont Heights. In the first quarter, the Yellow Jackets struck first as its assist from number 3 from Gwynn Park led to a goal to put the team up 1-0 on the Hornets. Gwynn Park continued to play good team ball as this dime from number 5 for the team led to number 7 scoring another goal for the Black and Yellow to go up 2-0 on Fairmont. And the goals just kept on coming for Gwynn Park, and the team went into the second quarter up 7-0 on the Hornets. In the second quarter, Fairmont Heights had some good moments like these 2 tough stick saves from the team's goalie. But Fairmont Heights offense continued to struggle, and Gwynn Park built a double-digit lead and went into halftime up 11-0. The Hornets weren't able to recover and were routed by Gwynn Park, losing the game 18-1. Better luck next time, Fairmont. Moving on to other lacrosse news from around the county, Flowers stood on business at home, beating Wise 14-3, and Frederick Douglass took down Oxon Hill in a close game 6-5. Meantime, the UMD football team is in the midst of spring practice, and a side of the ball that's looking to improve is the defense. This season, the Terps will have 2 defensive coordinators in Ted Monachino and Azar Abdul-Rahim. And Rahim is looking forward to working with Monachino and turning this defense around.
I'm glad he's here.
I think he brings a wealth of knowledge to our defense. I think probably more than anything, what I've learned from him is just how collaborative he is and how open he is to ideas. And so I think I was telling someone earlier is that we have a lot of experience on our defensive staff that has coordinated. Like Zach has been a coordinator, JT has been a coordinator, as well as myself. So it's been a collaborative, where everybody kind of takes their ego out of it.
Man, I'm definitely looking forward to seeing how the Terps defense will look in 2025. Sticking with college sports news, congratulations to the Florida men's basketball team for their national championship game win over Houston last night. The Gators took down the Cougars in a close game, 65-63. Man, that was a good game, y'all. And wrapping up sports, the Washington Nationals will host the defending champion Los Angeles Dodgers tonight. First pitch is at 6:45. And the Baltimore Orioles will be in the desert tonight taking on the Arizona Diamondbacks. The game begins at 9:40. And that wraps up your Tuesday sports page. Back to you at the desk, Michaela.
All right, Simon, thanks so much. Let's get a look at our 3-day weather forecast. Tonight, we will be under a freeze warning until 9 a.m. tomorrow. Tomorrow, it's going to be nice and sunny with a high of 55. Thursday, it's going to be 59 degrees, but we have a 50 to 80% chance of rain. Friday, we have a 90% chance of rain. We'll have a high of 59 and a low of 46. And for our community calendar tomorrow, the Oxon Hill Branch Library is hosting Coffee and a Classic. The screening will feature 1967 thriller In the Heat of the Night. The film tells the story of a black detective played by Sidney Poitier who becomes involved in a murder investigation. This event takes place from 1 to 3 p.m., but for more information, contact 240-455-5451. And that's all the time we have for CTV News. Thanks so much for joining us. We'll see you again tomorrow. Have a good night.
Hello, I'm Sandra F. Peaches, Executive Director of Prince George's Community Television. I'm reaching out today with an urgent message. CTV needs your help. The county's current proposed budget is about to silence your voice. The proposed budget presented to the County Council calls for the closing of PGCTV in the upcoming fiscal year. For more than 40 years, Prince George's Community Television has been your independent voice in the community, providing essential news related to county events, the people, and services. Most importantly, our volunteer public access producers create hundreds of hours of programming each year. The programming that tells the stories of people in Prince George's County. We connect residents to critical information, provide a voice for underrepresented communities, and help to foster a deeper sense of connection within the diverse communities residing in our county and state. We're known as a hub for career development, having provided invaluable internships and volunteer opportunities for hundreds of young people, helping them build futures in broadcasting and film. Our success stories are both in front of and behind the lens at every local network in the DMV and countless others throughout the United States. If we lose Prince George's Community Television, we not only lose a place for hands-on learning, but also the voice and connection that helps our community be informed and united. This is your station. Do not let your voice be silenced. Please contact the Prince George's County Council. Ask that PGCTV, the voice of the county, be saved and fully funded. Together, we can make a difference.